Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. Here we are on Lake Murray Boulevard heading up from the 8, and it always cracks me up how much advance notice drivers need of construction coming up. There are a lot of cones keeping people out of the left-hand lane, and there is nothing happening for quite some time. Maybe it's just more time because it's me on a bicycle observing, but it doesn't start till up here. And this is where road work Slurry Seal has started on Lake Murray Boulevard over at Kiowa, I think is the name of the street. There's a Starbucks on the corner and that T intersection. But they've put the Slurry Seal down, and here it is. So when you do Slurry Seal, when the city does Slurry Seal, you're not doing Slurry Seal. It's not like you have one of those things with the big press on the front, whatever. Steamroller. You don't have a steamroller in your garage, and if you do, I have more questions. But here we are, the Slurry Seal is new, and the thing with the Slurry Seal is that it takes a couple of weeks to cure. So they're not going to paint anything on Lake Murray Boulevard for a while. But honestly, I don't know. This is a mixed bag, because on the one hand, I think that it's intuitive that this is a single lane road. Drivers are going to stay to the left, hopefully getting close to those cones, and somebody on a bike will stay over here to the right where I am. But I miss my lines. As much as I say paint is not protection, and it's not, it is at least some sort of marker, some sort of delineation, some sort of visual representation that there is a separation between me and drivers. And that gets muddy when you get up to intersections like this. Luckily, none of these drivers seem to be turning, so I still have the space here. Another thing that I might point out about Slurry Seal is that it specifically goes on top of the road, right? So what ends up happening if you look to the right of my front tire is you see that color difference between the black and the gray just before the curb. That gets more pronounced. So you end up with this little curb. So no matter how big the bike lane is, you end up losing a few inches there. And you can only get so far to the right without your wheel slipping down into that groove that now exists between the curb and the slurry. So that's something I think about pretty often. And a lot of roads in San Diego especially have been slurry sealed. Turns out it's a lot cheaper to just seal the road than it is to dig it up and replace it properly. So that's something that I think we should think about. This is just like kind of a hot tar. It's like a hot, gooey gravel that they put down and press in, and it is not an actual new road. It's not new asphalt. It's not. It's just a cover. It's a candy shell on top of the already existing road. So it's not very durable. This stuff will crack, especially if really heavy vehicles go over it during this 2-week curing process, which inevitably they're going to. You can get some pretty big crunches in these things, pretty big gashes, and you can see some of them right there, like a car has been in there and changing the shape of the smoothness into something else. And if that cures, it's gonna just be there. Crews can come through and smooth it out, but I don't know. Do you see the texture difference between the middle of the road and where I'm riding? And I'm doing this on the 4th. Maybe they intend to come back around and smooth out more of it later, or maybe they figure this side of the road is just parking or a bike lane, so they're not going to put too much more effort into it. That's also a very realistic mindset that, let's focus on the main travel lanes and not the area where people park. Speaking of parking, because of this construction, there is no parking on this road right now. So, ironically, right now is what it would look like if this road had a bike lane, minus the paint. I could be riding on here close to the curb all the time, and I would feel much better. Instead, under normal circumstances, and those who watch the channel regularly know that this is the case, I'm in that right-hand travel lane, and drivers get annoyed because somehow changing into the left lane is a hardship that some drivers just can't really seem to handle. That little motion of the steering wheel to the left and then back, that little flick of the blinker is just too much sometimes. But here we are. I wish that I could ride exactly where I am now all the time, but typically there are cars parked here, like the one that's up ahead. That person's not following the signs, I guess. So I get around them, and then I'm gonna hang out over here, and we'll keep going. But I appreciate that the project is being done. To be honest, I never found a huge problem riding on Lake Murray, and I don't really understand why this slurry seal had to be done. But also, I've been doing this kind of stuff long enough to know that sometimes it's not about necessity. Sometimes it's that there are resources that get allocated and the project gets done just because that's where the money has gone to, regardless of any kind of real need. As you can see, maybe in the left lane where drivers are going, there's a lot of patch there. There's a lot of like fill-in over cracks. So this covers that. It seals it. It protects those cracks from further damage. Although in a place like San Diego, we don't get conditions where water seeps into the ground and then freezes, ruining the new road, which is also the name of a poetry collection by William Matthews. So there's a little Easter egg in there for the other people who like poetry. And when the paint starts up right here, we are back in the city of San Diego. And I guess, I don't know, this could use a little bit of smoothness out to it. But that's okay. Different cities have different priorities. This project is going to go as long as it'll go. Supposedly we get markings back on the road in about probably a week from now. So we'll see how that goes. You know I'm going to ride on it. And when we do, we will drive less and ride our bikes. Thanks so much.